Now, Ahithophel was originally a counselor of a king by name David in the land of Israel. What you and I need to understand this evening is that for a person to become a counselor of a king, it stands to reason that such a person must have carried himself very well above any form of reproach. For a person to be considered a counselor of a king stands to reason that such a person might have carried himself very well above any form of reproach. Now, anyone who is a counselor knows the inside out of his or her counseling. Anyone who is a counselor knows the inside out of his or her counseling. Now, even in marriage, before a would-be couple will tie the knot, there is the need for them to be counseled. And so we even have marriage counselors. But one of the ethics of counseling is what I call confidentiality. Confidentiality simply means whatever the person you are counseling tells you, it remains with you and even dies with you. So one of the ethics about counseling is that the counselor must believe in what we call confidentiality. It simply means keeping whatever the counselor tells you to yourself without making it public. Now, we're living in a dispensation whereby confidentiality is lacking. You and I are living in a dispensation whereby confidentiality is lacking. Now, many people are not able to reveal what is on their hearts to their counselors because confidentiality has fallen to the ground. Many people are not able to reveal what is on their hearts to their counselors. And the reason is that confidentiality has fallen to the ground. Now, what we need to understand is that even in ministry, if somebody comes to share something with you, it is not supposed to be made public. If the person wanted to be made public, he wouldn't have come to you. Perhaps he or she might have gone to a radio station or maybe a television station to air whatever is bothering such a person. So Ahithophel was a counselor to the king, and the name of the king is David. So if he happens to be a counselor to the king, then we can deduce that this man knew almost everything about King David. Everything about King David, because he was a counselor to the king. Now in life, if people get to know certain things about you, they can use it against you. Now, this is a very profound statement that I have just made. In life, if people know something about you, they can use it against you. If people get to know something about you, because of the information they have concerning your life, they can use that information against you. It is as a result of this, which is why you and I need to keep secrets. Because your secret is your power. If you are watching me online, type the word, my secret is my power. My secret is my power. My secret is my power. Now let's get going, beloved in the Lord. Ahithophel was the grandfather of Bathsheba. Now listen to me attentively. I am giving you the background of this man by name Ahithophel, so that you appreciate what we are studying as far as the month of October, our month of authority, is concerned. Ahithophel was the grandfather of Bathsheba, the daughter of his son. Had a tragic end to her marriage because of David. Ahithophel was the grandfather of Bathsheba. And you know the story, so I wouldn't bore you that much. Uriah, Bathsheba's husband, was killed through the conniving plan of David in his desperate attempt to hide the fact that he was the father of the child Bathsheba was carrying. We are made to understand by the word of the Lord that in the times when kings go for war, David sat on top of his palace, and whilst there, he saw a woman who was taking her bath. The name of the woman was Bathsheba. This gentleman by name David, who also happened to be a king over the people of Israel, sent for this woman by name Bathsheba. He went to bed with her, and this woman took in a seed. The woman was also married to one of the military personnel of David. David sent for this man by name Uriah to be brought home, so that he could have covered whatever might have happened. But when he saw that Uriah was so faithful to the call of the king, he connived that Uriah must be placed at where he would die, at the battlefield. And like I've just told you, the woman David impregnated happens to be a granddaughter of Ahithophel, who is also the counselor or the advisor of King David. Let me lay these foundations so that when we begin to fly, we can fly at a higher altitude. Now, David knew about this. He knew about the fact that Ahithophel was a grandfather to Bathsheba. And so, he should have stopped taking advantage over the lady. But David didn't. David knew that Bathsheba's grandfather was Ahithophel. And so David shouldn't have taken advantage over this lady. But he didn't. Now listen to me, child of God. It seems that Ahithophel never got over this betrayal by King David. In the mindset of Ahithophel, he was betrayed by David. The essence of this betrayal is that David knew him to be a grandfather to Bathsheba, but still David went ahead to take advantage over this lady. And so all this while, Ahithophel was waiting for the opportune time to strike. A time to take revenge. Because to him, his family had been harmed by the actions and inactions of King David. Ahithophel atena wono munyema bi a ekoso. Ewura ni din edi Bathsheba, David ene nada, wale na ferefuro. Opese okata niyema so nti no, kiresem edi adanse ese ne David yɛ ne sɛ ɔma yɛ de maame ne yere ekunu ɛkɔtɔ baabi a ɔkɔn no mu ɛɛten sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a ɔbɛtɔ ɛna Ahitofel ɛde nsɛm wɔɛsɛ nyinaa asie ɛtwɛn ɛbere bi a ɔbɛnya akwanya na ɔno nso atua ɔhempɔn yi ɛka ɛwɔ ade a wayɛ atia n'abusua